Welcome to Escape Purgatory, a podcast where we rewatch Supernatural, then talk it through in the hopes we can finally escape this show.
Join us each week and leave comments on upcoming episodes, and together we can escape Supernatural Purgatory.
Hello! That's my ghost voice.
I was going to say, is that your impersonation of a ghost?
So spooky. Yeah.
I will say, that one ghost that went, bleh, got me. It did get me.
True.
Other than that, this episode... Okay. It's not of grave importance.
You're so funny. Yeah. I don't know. Something about this episode was just, it wasn't it. And I don't know why. It just was it was a bit boring.
It was very bland. I think the problem is that it's like repeat. I feel like on a rewatch, this doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Because some of these conversations that have happened in this episode, I feel like happen again and again and again, like as we go forward. So I think that's the problem, is that like we've heard what's talked about so many times.
Yeah.
And I think, I thought maybe there'll be some interesting conversation between Annie and Bobby, especially since Annie seems to be a bit of a bicycle. Hey, power to her. Like you're surrounded by a bunch of guys who can fight like monsters off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
But no, there was nothing. No,
not really. There was one line in this that I thought was interesting, and I'm not going to say what it is yet because it's probably the only interesting bit. I'm joking. It's all right otherwise. Like. Anyway, so sorry, this episode is season 7, episode 19 of Grave Importance, as Annabelle already said. This is why. It's written by Brad Buckner and Eugenie Russell-Lemming, so it's like a Bucknerian episode, directed by Tim Andrew. Yeah.
Sam and Dean aren't in it.
I mean, maybe that's why it was a little bit... I think... It's almost like what do they call it? Like a bottle episode. It all takes place in one location, and also that location is like super dark. And I think they could have maybe like explored a bit more about ghosts. Like they kind of do in this episode, but then it all gets kind of retconned because the ghost who can do all the things is eating other ghosts. Be able to do that. So I don't know. It's just so any cool ghost powers is like, oh well, it's just that one. That's that ghost that can do that.
Yeah. Everything was a bit predictable, wasn't it? Like, the guy was a bad guy.
Of course he was. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like nobody was saved in this episode. Literally everybody died.
Everybody died.
Two teens at the beginning. Yeah. The other 2 teens, Annie. Yeah.
Everybody died. That's so true. The body count on this one is high.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair to this episode, it got us where we needed to go with Bobby's story. And I don't know if how else they would have done it, I guess.
I feel like... I guess if Bobby just like popped up, right? I mean, it was great to have a whole Jim Beaver episode. That was great to have. Like, that's about it. Because like everything, but they didn't use him in a good way. Like, I don't know. It was it was no Weekend of Bobbies. Let's just put it that way.
No, I mean, I think the most egregious thing about this is they didn't really. And I don't know if they do this in later episodes. They didn't really explore in much depth why Bobby stayed. Like he says at the end, oh, well, we still had work to do. I'm like, that doesn't feel like a good enough reason to stay when you know what's going to happen to you as a ghost.
Yeah. Right. And the thing is that there was no urgency to get them going, right? Because they have an argument.
Yeah.
And it's like Bobby goes away, I think, quotation marks. He just disappears for them not to be able to see him. But like, surely maybe that's a reflection of Bobby starting to lose it now that he's more powerful, that like he doesn't want to just like sit down and be like, all right, Dean, you're going to listen to me and this is what we've got to do next, because he's clearly seen what they've been up to. And I'm thinking I was going through some of the episodes that are coming up, and I realized what the digs are all about. They're trying to find the tablets. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. The archaeological digs. Yes. Oh yeah.
That kind of clicked, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's, but like, I don't know if Bobby would have known what the things that they were digging up were for. Anyway, I don't know. It definitely, the fact he didn't even, like you were saying, he didn't make it urgent for them to get back on track.
Yeah. Be like, you've got to be investigating the Leviathan, or like, I guess he knows that they were following up his coordinates, but why isn't he like, what did you find there? You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like we could have had this entire episode happen in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then worked on getting towards the finale, because obviously we only have three episodes left, 20, 21, 4 episodes left, and we're no closer to finding out what the Leviathan are after, how to kill them. Cass is still incapacitated.
Yeah.
Like, we're basically still the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Like, considering they're the big bad of the season, I just feel like there would have been, and I said this right at the beginning, there should have been more, like, just more subtle clues that they were, like, taking over, you know, important roles, or, which is what's it's implied they're doing. I don't know, just even things like, you could have seen a billboard sign that says something like, I don't know, like the Biggersons one, right? It's like, you could say, burgers with more bite, right? So it's like, yeah, Leviathans or something like that. Just build it into the set of the season, because yeah, you're right, like the big bad is barely mentioned and we have no idea about them. And I think that's why people don't kind of like the Leviathans as a monster, because they're just not around enough. No,
like they were really building up momentum until Bobby died. As soon as Bobby died, it all just like came crashing down. And like, we've had other interests, like Sam's stuff and Dean's sort of slow spiral as well, or continued spiral. But like, we did, like, as soon as we were introduced to Dick, that kind of Leviathan's taking over kind of disappeared a lot.
Yes.
And it would be more interesting, like you said, to have it be more effective, because Dean is obsessed with Dick. Take that as he will. And like, because that's the only thing that he will talk to Frank about. That's the only thing that he's searching in newspapers, online, all of that. But he's not looking out, like, whenever Frank brings up that there are other celebrities, he's like, I don't care about that.
Yeah. Like, just, they should have had wider implications. And I don't know, it's just, I get the whole storyline is them trying to like blend in and be very subtle, which is maybe why you wouldn't have heard of them. And when they do pop up, it's kind of a surprise. But I don't think it worked in the way they intended, because Sam made a comment about like, oh, well, anybody we interact with could be a Leviathan. But I never feel that. Happens. No, and I never really feel that danger either, that it's going to happen. No. Like, they should have had more surprises of that happening. Of like, oh my God, they're Leviathan.
Right. Exactly, like with the FBI guy in the beginning of the season. Like, they have actually had that happen to them.
Right.
But only one time. And then, like, what's happening with them curing cancer? Like, where are all these, like, news articles of, you know, XYZ company linked to Dick Roman is curing Alzheimer's or whatever, like, human disease is on a decline.
Like every time every time Sam checks a newspaper for a case, there should be like a front page article about something to do with the Leviathan on it. Does that mean like little in-world clues? Because this felt like a filler episode. Oh, you're right. Could have been like the back end of another episode. You know, I don't know. It didn't hold my attention in the way that it should have done, considering it was such a big deal of like, oh my gosh, Bobby's a ghost, and he's going to reveal himself to them.
And he's been working on it since he became a ghost. Yeah. Which this is another thing that kind of, and I've spoken about this at length in terms of Supernatural, but like, how long has it been since Bobby has died? Because Bobby makes like reference to he did one thing and then he was passed out for 2 weeks and he did another thing and he was out for another week and he was out for a few days here and there. But when Annie makes a joke of like, when Bobby asks Annie how long he's been out, she makes a joke of like, oh, you've been out for so long. Yeah. Because I don't think he was. But at the same time, it took Sam and Dean coming back for him to wake up. So maybe he was out for a long time, but like, they're ghosts. How are they supposed to know what time is?
I have no idea. Like the time dilation in Supernatural is wild. Who knows how long it's been since the Leviathans were released, you know?
And they're going to tell us it's going to be a year. We already know this because it's, you know, each season is a year. But like, honestly, I think sometimes they could have made their season within, like, take longer.
And it would have been, it would have been easier too, to tell us how long it's been, because did Cass, as a manual, mention how long ago she fished about the water or found in the woods?
I feel like we did talk about it because we were like, Naked Man, and you locked that down within months, but I don't remember if it was.
So that's what I mean, it's been months, right? It has been a long time, I think. So yeah, I think it's still happening within the space of a year. I think that's what we're supposed to believe. I don't know. Anyway, I think we could rant about this for a really long time. I think we should get into the episode.
I agree. Yes, let's get into it and talk about what happened, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we have the recap, and it's a bit of the Reaper from Death's Door. And then we get a little bit of a montage of Bobby hunting a few things. And then we go back to Dick. I wrote Rick, and I think it's because I was watching the first seasons of Rick and Morty before I watched this episode. But so we have Dick shooting Bobby.
Yeah.
And Rufus telling Bobby, or Reaper Rufus, you know, you sure you want to get stuck and turn into a ghost? And Bobby's like, I know what I'm doing. There should have been more caution of pride in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, we should have started to see him lose control.
Yeah.
Maybe that's coming up. I don't know.
I think it might be. I think maybe because of the end of this episode, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so as all of this is happening, the theme is also playing. Like, it's a slightly different version, but it's I was like, no, don't do this to me. Not at the beginning of this episode. And then it cuts to Garth talking about that he's concerned that Bobby is haunting them.
Yeah.
And Sam, like a lot of the last episode is saying Sam had already tried it. And if he had found anything, he would have told Bobby. Told Dean. And, you know, spooky things keep happening and showing all of those things that happened. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I also wrote something else, but I cannot read what my writing is. But yeah, that's it. It then cuts to now, and this was a really interesting way to start this episode. Like usually when they start, it's like in the middle of action, but they're literally just like eating dinner.
Yeah, I do kind of
just
love
like
that.
a really quiet moment between the two of them. And like Dean's talking about like, I thought this episode was going to go a completely different way just because of how it starts. Because he's just like, you know, no matter where we go, a taco tastes like a taco tastes like a taco. Like, that's basically what it comes down to. These things tasting the same in every drive-through in every state in our great nation. Like, and he's just like really happy about that.
Yeah.
But then nothing comes of that because he gets a phone call because it's supernatural, and you can't explore how like that's like a really profound moment that he's actually found joy in something.
Yeah.
When he hasn't, and I mean maybe because Cass is back, maybe that's why he can find joy again. But still,
100%. I feel like we should watch Dean's moods in the next few episodes now Cass is back, because I feel he takes a complete 180 of like, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enjoying, you know, a good food truck taco is one of them. Mm-hmm. I know I'm saying taco in an English way, but sue me, whatever.
I don't even know how to say it in American. But I know I couldn't do that.
No.
Taco.
Whatever. You know what I mean. So Dean's phone rings and it's Annie. Have we met Annie before? I feel like we've met Annie before, but she is new. Mm-hmm. I think it's because she reminds me so much of Ellen, which is really weird because, like, of what she like I said, bicycle situation.
Yeah, like I also thought she was an Ellen analogy, and then they decided to have everyone sleep with her in the past. I was like, that's a strange choice to do this because she's clearly supposed to be Ellen. Yeah,
like I feel like there's around. I know they reference her as in her 30s, but I was like, she is late 30s. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not early.
Also, oh no, okay. I was like, also, when did Sam sleep with her? But he said that he was soulless at the time. So it was last year. Because I was like, otherwise, when would he have a chance to meet this woman? Like, only when he was a teenager, which is super strange.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, I have to say a more about this. I know we haven't even got to that bit of the dialogue. I hate this. Why? I'm sorry, but just because she's a woman who's a hunter, why did they all have to have slept with her? And like, yeah, it could be like you said, like a more power to her situation, but it's not framed that way. I feel it's just like, she's a woman, so we must have all had sex with her. That's how it felt like an episode. It really annoyed me because it adds nothing to this episode whatsoever. It adds nothing to her character at all. No. It doesn't change. Like, it's just, I don't know. It annoyed me.
Honestly, it gave me the ick for like Sam, Dean, and Bobby rather than her. Like, it was.
That's so true.
Like, I don't know. For me, I was just like, I don't know. Yeah, they're just as whorish, and she's not even.
You're so right. Actually, I think that's it because I was like, absolutely, it's the ick for the male characters. You're right. Yeah. It's
like, I don't know who it was supposed to be for.
Right? You know? Yeah. Like, why? Whatever. I don't know. It's just, who is this information for? Why is it relevant to the story? As such, just like a funny moment. We all slept with the same woman, including Bobby, which is just like, why is that funny to you? I don't know. At least Sam had the excuse of being soulless, despite because the like implication is that or the other way around, one of them, like either Dean or Bobby knew that they'd also had relations with Addie at the time that they did too. I feel like that was the implication.
Yeah. I feel like it was Sam who points out. I guess we'll get there. I can't remember who points out.
Yeah. I feel like this is just a butt climbing episode. I'm like...
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I do enjoy Annie's character in this episode, I think. Without her, it would have been worse. Because at least Bobby has someone to banter with during this episode. Yeah.
But she is so close to Ellen. Like her humor, the way she speaks, the way she looks, she's basically Ellen.
It makes me wonder if at some point, like, she was supposed to be Ellen. You know, Ellen's ghost guiding Bobby. And then they rewrote it.
Because they're like, well, how would we get her back?
Yeah, like, why would she be in this house? Like, how could her ghost be about,
Yeah. Yep. Annie's on the phone with Dean, and she has a case. And she needs some help in Bodega Bay. And they're going to meet at a restaurant. And the next day at 1:00, and that's basically it. It's just she's driving, they're sat around eating, and then it cuts to this house, and there's 2 teenagers who are like making out, and there's like candles and all this kind of stuff, and I was just thinking, this house is gonna burn down. And they shouldn't be. The girl was saying, we shouldn't be here, and the boy is like, yeah, I know. And then they hear a car and they think it's the cops. But it's actually Annie. We see her get out the car and start to walk around this house, and the teens are running away from her, thinking that she's going to get them in trouble. And then we see this like huge guy, and all I could think of was the Cabin Fever episode. Because he has the same kind of stature.
Yeah, he does.
Like a big of Mice and Men. If you think of Mice and Men, the I quote, dumb brother. And he warns the kids saying you shouldn't be here, and then like I will say I kind of enjoyed this shot because it was like he's standing there and they do like a jump cut zoom into him. I really enjoyed that.
That's fun, yeah.
And like we hear them scream. Annie runs through the house, finds the kids, but like they're dead on the floor now. And her flashlight goes out, and the front door slams.
Whoa!
And we get the title card.
Yeah.
What happened to Annie? Annie, you okay? You're okay. You're okay. Why they didn't even make that joke once in this episode? I mean, it was written for you.
They could have done literally like, Annie, are you okay? You know, like, well, they went, oh, well, yeah. Fine. Never mind.
Maybe copyright. I don't know.
Who knows? So we cut to Sam and Dean. They are at this place. It's a bay. You know, there's water. Dean's reading a newspaper saying that, this is what I was just saying. I mean, it's fine. They are mentioning it. I don't know. I still want more. I just always want more. Greedy.
Well, this is what I'm saying as well, though, that he's just focused on Dick and what he's up to, and he's just talking about Diggs. Like, that gives us context of what's coming, but like what's happening in the rest of the world. Like, what does an archaeological dig do for humanity, like not dying so that they have endless supply of food?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the big picture stuff? So yeah, it turns out Dick Roman's finding another archaeological dig, and Sam does ask what he's digging for, and Dean says, "Don't you think I would have led with that?" Okay. They're waiting for Annie, and she's clearly late. And it's unusual for her to be late too. Sam then makes the point that we talked to earlier. He says to Dean, like, oh, you know, she and Bobby had a thing, right? Oh, and Dean says, yeah, I knew that. And he went, really? Like, he didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Sam explains, oh, so I guess this is what happens. And I think this is probably, I know I just had a big rant about Annie and the hunters, other hunters. But this whole foxhole situation, like, all I'm saying, right, I think this is what annoys me, because they get out of this with saying, like, it's a last on Earth kind of situation, right? They ended up sleeping with her. But, like, they've been in so many situations. Dean's been in so many situations like that with Cass. There was literally that whole thing with Raphael, and if they didn't bang in the episode, like, I will eat my hat. It's just off screen. Honestly. Anyway, because he says, you know, it was a foxhole thing, very Hemingway. And Dean's like, oh, you know, she and I kind of went Hemingway this one time too. And Sam kind of looks fair and says, yeah, that happens. And Dean kind of clocks his expressions like, you too? Sam explains it like, it was a while back, they ended up in the same case. She was stressed and I didn't have a soul. And Dean says, that's a lot of foxholes. And then goes back to the case. So,
but like, they're hunters, so of course there's a lot of foxholes. Like,
of course, yeah. Maybe I feel like this would have almost been better if there had been a previous thing of like all the hunters to sleep together, because they always end up finding themselves in situations that they're never going to get out of, so they all end up sleeping together, and it's like just sort of an unwritten thing, like unspoken thing in the hunter community that everyone slept with each other, and they could have made some reference to that at Harvell's. Like,
yeah, yep.
I don't know.
I mean, it feels more icky, because I'm like, how many women hunters are there, like solo women?
Yeah,
you've seen like married couples and stuff, but most of the time it's like married men, not married men. It's usually like single men.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you foxholing with other single men? No. So why with another woman, or why with a woman?
I think this is what it is. It's very unprofessional, right? They see hunting as a job, and I think sleeping with your coworker on an assignment is very unprofessional.
It's a bad one. It's a no. Yeah. You know, maybe after the job's done, fine. But like, not while you're on the job. That's unprofessional. Nope. Exactly. There's a lot of drinking in this episode too. So, Dean's saying like, oh, you know, maybe the ghosts aren't there anymore, and he Irishes his coffee up with some whiskey. And Sam says, "You sound kind of disappointed." And they've somehow got onto the topic of Bobby just through talking about ghosts, because they're clearly still thinking about it. Because Dean says, you know, it's better this way. You know, I wish we could see him again, but that doesn't mean we should. And they kind of toast to that. They think again about Annie, ask if she's going to come. Like, basically, it's kind of cuts to them staying there. But while that's happening, we see Dean's flask on the table where he took it out to pour his whiskey, like rock from side to side. So, yeah. I just had a really stupid thought. I wonder if the flask, because Bobby's inhabiting it, is in some way cursed now and is ramping up Dean's alcoholism. Oh, you know, that would be really interesting. Yeah.
Like, just passing that on, you know? Yeah. So Sam and Dean go back to their car out at the front of the restaurant, still not getting any... Go on.
So, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm pretty sure this is the same pier that Bella stole the Impala from.
Almost
way
100%.
Back in the day.
I think it is too. Yeah, I almost definitely is, because they have only very few locations.
Yeah. I was like, seeing that, I was like, oh no, baby's going to be gone. But like, obviously, they're not driving it now. Even though that's like literally the only thing they've changed in their life, nothing else.
That's so true. Yeah, that's so funny, because like, at least dress different. We've talked about this before as well. Yeah, for a beard man.
Grow some hair, get some wigs, even a hat. Just wear a hat.
Bleach it. Something. I feel like Dean is like a spiritual blonde, you know? Like he should be blonde.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's those season 1 himbo vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're kind of talking again about Annie, saying that she's working a case, she hasn't showed up. Dean takes out his flask again, but it's empty. He's like tipping it up. He's like, oh, I've got to go get a refill. And Sam just says, you know what? Don't.
What? No, I think he's not even saying like don't drink. I think it's literally like don't refill the flask. Like just leave it alone.
What it is that?
No comment on the drinking. It's the flask.
You're so right. It is that, because he says like, oh, you know, all the flask does is remind us of him. And Dean says basically he's not ready. He's like, no, not yet. Yeah. They get into the car, and we can see Bobby sitting in the back. Obviously, they don't see him because he's a ghost. And they say they're going to go check out Annie's hotel room. So they do that. They like look through all her stuff, find the case she's working on with the teenagers. Basically, this has been going on for a while now, that teenagers have been going missing. And she'd found the place they like to go to make out, you know, and then had gone. It's the old Van Ness house. And as they are kind of talking about this and showing them like information to each other, we can see Bobby is kind of sat across from Sam, like, you know, taking it all in too. But again, they don't see him. So they say that the police have looked in the house, but they never find anything. We see the curtain move like next to Sam, like just sort of like, whoo. But neither of them are looking at it while it's happening. And all their stuff is like kind of in the background now. I kind of tuned it out to like listen to Bobby, because he's like,
all right.
Guys.
So, built in 1862 by the Van Ness family.
I just made that curtain shimmy. Could you look in the right place at the right time?
A few years back, the takers.
Probably because it creeps their queso.
Oh, this is
Just been
exhausting.
sitting there.
So Sam and Dean wrap up. They're like, it's one of the most haunted houses in America. And Dean says, let me guess, that's where the teenagers started to go missing, which I thought they'd figured out like about 10 minutes ago. But
yeah.
And Bobby's like getting annoyed at them too. He's like, come on, let's get rolling. And Dean says at the same time almost like, I say we get rolling, which was pretty cute. I quite like that.
There's a couple of moments like that in this episode where Bobby says something and then one of the two, I think it's usually Dean, repeats exactly what Bobby just said.
Yeah. So they leave and Bobby's like stuck in the room. He says, idiots. And then Dean comes back in and grabs his jacket that has the flask inside. And Bobby just says like, thank you. And then he disappears.
What's so funny, right? So you see the jacket and you see like part of the flask coming out.
Yeah.
But like if it was that far high out of his pocket, the amount of times it would fall out. Like he has women's sized pockets in that jacket.
He really does. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go to this house, the Van Ness house, which is where most of this episode's going to happen now, pretty much.
Yeah.
As they walk in, Dean says, honey, I'm home. And then Bobby comes in and says, geez, my people. And you can see just like loads of other ghosts in the room, just sort of like stood about, sort of vacantly staring into space. And then Dean and Sam leave, and we're left with Bobby. They go on to explore the house.
So I think they did this so that they wouldn't have to CGI Sam and Dean walking through a whole bunch of ghosts.
Yeah.
Because they used all of that budget for Bobby and his adventures today in this episode.
That's,
Yeah, because even when we see Bobby's point of view with all the ghosts and Sam and Dean walking, they conveniently miss all the ghosts.
I do.
And there are a lot in that room.
There are, yeah. That's really funny. You're so right. They definitely didn't want to CG anything else. Oh. So Bobby introduced himself to the ghost. He's like,
hi, I'm Bobby, and I'm a ghost. Looking for a little ghost orientation here. Je m'appelle Bobby.
I don't know why French. He speaks a lot of languages.
I guess maybe wherever Bodega Bay is supposed to be, maybe it was like a French state at one point, so there would be French speakers.
Yeah. But none of them respond to him, and he just says chili. We go back to Sam and Dean, and they're kind of calling for Annie. Dean's still like, trying to ring her, and Sam's got an EMF meter out that's like going crazy.
Yeah.
Dean hears a phone ringing nearby, and they try to they find her phone on the floor. So yeah, she clearly was here, as we know.
Yeah.
Then Bobby sees some of the teenagers walk past him. So they're dead. We kind of knew they were dead as well. And he also sees like a guy in a suit. He looks kind of very dapper. I'd say like 1920s dapper, possibly. Yeah. And there's also like the guy we saw earlier, the largest man. And the guy in the suit is shouting at him, saying like, I know what you did last night. You know it was forbidden. I don't brook that sort of thing in my home. Don't do it again, Dexter, or there will be consequences. So, yep. And then we also go back to Sam and Dean again, and Bobby's watching them as they sort of look through the house. Dean saying like, the call to me was the last one she made, like looking at her phone. So where the hell is she? And then Annie appears in front of Bobby and says, Bobby? Bobby's like, Annie, we've been looking for you. And she says, oh, I can't believe you're here. Bobby replies, yeah, I'm a door now. And bad news here. If you can see me, you are too. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Yeah. And so they're now in some sort of like parlor type area of this house. It's got like a bar and just like a settee and stuff around. And they're both sat down together, and Annie just goes,
wow. Dead. Ghost. Me. 3 words you never want to use in a sentence. I feel like I was drugged.
I guess she kind of was, because the ghost whammied her to death. So
true.
It's kind of equivalent. Like, Annie is clearly very, very smart because she's already figured out and like has come to terms with it really quick. Whereas Bobby reveals that it took him a month to even know that he was still here, like still in the land of the living, essentially. Yeah. And Bobby asks, so, you know, did you duck your Reaper too? Like what you were saying in the beginning, why is it that this house, the Reapers aren't coming in reaping all these people? Like what is happening that, like, there's no explanation as to why the Reapers aren't coming for them.
Yeah, I thought that too. And I was like, is this a bigger plot point that the Reapers are disappearing? Is that why but then there's not that. I think maybe in supernatural lore, some people become ghosts like automatically. Like if maybe it was something particularly violent, or they, you know, I think there are some cases that it just happens.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the way that, because she was killed by a ghost. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's some sort of loophole, but yeah. And I guess that would make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have explored that a bit more, and I think I can't remember what Tessa said, whether like the Reaper only comes once. Yeah. And once you say no, they won't come again. Because I was going to say, like, well, why didn't Bobby go find some answers? But he's not going to find another Reaper who's not going to try and take him away. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think it must be that. Like, I think, you know, because Annie says later, and which we'll get to, says, as a regular ghost with no choice in the matter. Like, so I guess there are a lot of instances where people would just become ghosts, and I feel like it's usually like a traumatic or violent death, or like some emotional tie or something. It's again could have just had like a single sentence there, like, oh yeah, you know, because you got murdered, I guess that's why you're a ghost or something. I don't know. But then Bobby got murdered too. I don't know.
Yeah, in a pretty horrific way too. Right. I think it's something in the house. I think it's probably something to do with who's killing them that affects how, because like the ghosts, none of the ghosts can leave either. I guess because their bodies are there. I don't know. Yeah, there should have been more. There should have been more to this, because I'm saying all this because Annie does say, like, I never saw one. Yeah. And she chastises Bobby for running away from his Reaper on purpose. And that's why he's still here. He's stupid, crazy old. He's like, hey, I remember a time when you liked how crazy I was. Yeah. Them pushing Bobby as this, like, suave man. I'm like, I can't see it. He's just Bobby. Like, no. So yeah, and then that's when she says, like, a regular ghost with no choice in the matter. Screw you. And Bobby says, well, I've got an unfinished business here, and same as you. And she's like, and here's my unfinished business now. And we see the same teenagers that were killed in the beginning of the episode. And she tries to talk to them, but they don't respond. It's like they can't see other ghosts. Yeah. And again, that's not really explained either. Like, some of them can interact, but Annie's just as new. So how can she react with Bobby or, like, talk with Bobby?
I think it does kind of say, like, because Bobby said it took him kind of a month to come round almost as a ghost. And maybe they're just, like, in shock of being dead. Whereas Annie seems to be quite clued up, and she was like, she sort of cognitively came to quicker. I guess it's just like an individual thing.
It could be, but why don't the other ghosts interact with Bobby and them? Apart from that, there's going to be one other guy that we're going to see in a minute, but like everybody else kind of completely ignores them.
I don't know. Like, I think because they make the point, there's a ghost like kind of staring vacantly at some point, and they're like, that's just what happens when you're like a really old ghost, you know, you zone out. So I think that's part of it, is like they've kind of given up, and plus there's always like this tyrannical hold over the house. So I think it's that too.
True. Yeah, I mean, and it may just come down to who you were as a person, because Bobby just says they're not the brightest bulb in the string, so because they're teenagers. What teenagers do you know that are smart, you know? So Anna explains that when she came in, they were roadkill. And then there was this big guy, he charges me. And now I'm, crap. And now I'm dead. And she asks, is there fun aspects to this? And he's like, Bobby says, not really. So far, I haven't cracked the code on any of it. He's talking about how the ghosts that he's seen in the past, how they can throw pianos, poltergeists. And that he tried to help the boys out by knocking over a book and he blacked out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Annie's like, so Sam, you don't even know that you're here? Wow, that's messed up. So we then cut to Sam and Dean briefly as they are going through the messages on Annie's phone.
Yeah.
There's a woman on the other end of the phone talking about news clippings. They figure it's a vengeful spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe lots of them killing kids. Look around, no blood, no nothing. No bodies. And they've got like a really good cleanup crew. And it is kind of amazing. Like how again, there's so many questions for this episode. So they're looking through the phone and then they see like a message from a number that's just a bunch of stars. Like it doesn't actually have a number. And it's just a woman's voice saying, free me.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah. It cuts back to Annie and Bobby still sat there talking, and then another ghost appears, and he like goes and sits at the bar, and he's kind of he's eavesdropping on their conversation.
Yeah. He's the man in the suit, right? He's that we saw earlier.
No.
Is he not?
No.
Okay. I got
pretty sure
because there were two guys. Maybe they look the same.
There are two guys. Because they're of the same era. So Haskell Crane is killed by Whitman Van Ness. I thought it was really funny that his first name's Whitman. Like who names a kid Whitman? No wonder he turned into a mass murderer. I would too with a name like Whitman. So yeah, Haskell was killed by.
Oh yeah, they look so similar. I don't know. Yeah,
it's this hairstyle. Yeah, like I said, the episode's so dark. I didn't really clock it either. So yeah, Bobby and Annie try to call out to him, Haskell Crane, this guy, and Bobby tries to. Oh, they see him pull out a chair and like sit down. He's all, displaying powers of a ghost, and Bobby's like, "Well, if he can do it, then I can do it." And it's like this chest that's on the floor, and Bobby just goes through it rather than pushing it. And Haskell Crane is just like, "Novices, you all make the same mistake," and then they walk over. Annie then sort of turns on the charm to like get him to explain how he can move things. And essentially, it's find your zen. Find your zen, and you can move objects. Or you can do it through explosive anger. But, like, you'll burn through yourself much faster that way.
Yeah.
They talk about how they died. Like, he got shot. Haskell got stabbed.
He doesn't say who, but we kind of know who it is, I guess, later.
Yeah, because it's explained.
Yeah.
When Sam and Dean go to a museum. And he's like, he's trying to guide them through how to move this like candlestick. But Bobby's not getting it. And he's like,
I am vengeful. You think I don't have red hot rage?
I really don't think he has that kind of level of rage in him. Like he could, but I don't think he does.
And Crane says it. He's like, you can use explosive anger, but it's impossible to manufacture. Like you can't just make yourself that angry. It has to come from somewhere.
And I think he also tries to get him to that level of rage because he's like, you're a sad excuse for one of us. I'm unsurprised that you're failing. And it's just rude. They make another. I swear they've made a whole bunch of ghost references. Because Bobby says, for the record, I hate that Swayze flick, romantic bullcrap. This is the part where it got me real good. I was doing other things while this episode was on. So I had turned up the volume of my TV, and just as the thing had finished with what I was doing, this happened where the woman just her mouth extends and she screams and runs at the screen. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it got me. I was like, season 1 all over again. And Bobby asks, what in the cold hell was that? And Haskell says, that's you one day, that's all of us. We deteriorate at different rates. Some sooner, some later, and eventually all like that. And the woman like turns to dust. So I presume that means that she's gone?
I think she just disappeared, I think. Like, yeah.
Because he then says nothing left at all, so like...
I think he means like mentally.
Okay. Yeah, because Bobby just says ghost Alzheimer's. We then cut back to Sam and Dean as they walk into the same room that all of this has happened in.
Yeah.
And they've been searching the entire house trying to find something and they haven't found anything. And Sam says, well, maybe no news is good news. Meaning that, you know, Annie's not here. Maybe she's okay. And Dean says, well, what does your gut tell you? He doesn't really answer that question. Just says, let's see if there's anything in her research. And she's yelling at them. And Bobby says, you don't think I've tried that? I've shouted myself hoarse. It's like, but I'm right here.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now you know how it feels when when we've tried to talk to them in the past. Annie has also looked around this house and she hasn't found her body either. Bobby asks if he's being checked out by this woman who's like stood across the way. And Annie's like, no, it's pretty sure it's me. Yeah. And Annie walks over and she is introduced to Victoria. She is a fancy lady. She likes to say. Everyone calls her a hooker, which I'm like, yeah, you're still a fancy lady.
It's rude. That's just rude to introduce herself to you.
Yeah. You accept the introduction. Yeah. She is a fancy lady.
Exactly.
Yep. So Annie recognizes her voice. It's the same voice that was on her answering machine or her voicemail. They have a term for that. Yeah. Spectral voice transference. Sure. Yeah. It feels very much out of Ghostfacers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, even Bobby here says like, right, ghost juju.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I'm with you, Bobby. So Annie asks, you know, what did you mean by free me? And, you know, Victoria, free you from what? And then Bobby vanishes. Yeah. So we don't actually hear the answer. Convenient. And Bobby disappears because Sam and Dean have now left the house and are in their car driving away. And Bobby's like, stupid Flask. So they're going to go to the Bodega Bay Heritage Society, which is on the front of a booklet thing that Sam has, which was part of the research that Annie had. And so they drive away. We then get the history of like the Van Ness family. Yeah. It's not very interesting. It's just a haunted house, like with bad luck. Not bad, well, manufactured bad luck, but bad luck. Because Whitman Van Ness lost his family, fortune, then the house. It became a bordello, and he lived in isolation until his death at age 40. Yeah. Yeah. So he hired Dexter Collins, which is O'Connell.
Dexter O'Connell.
Dexter O'Connell. He was clearly an Irish immigrant. Yeah. He is a convict, an extremely violent man. I mean, that's literally, they've just taken the brother of Mice and Men. Anyway. Whatever. Van Ness took pity on him, hired him as a groundskeeper, and then Dexter was convicted of murdering Whitman's fiance on the eve of their wedding. So, and then the historian guy that they're talking to was like, well, the house is popular this week. It's like another woman came by. A woman came by. I don't know why I keep saying another woman as if there's a woman in this show. Yeah. A woman came by talking about asking the same kind of questions, and they describe Annie. He's like, yep, gave her the same advice I'll give to you. Stay away from that place. It's extremely unsafe. Bobby's still trying to find his zen and just trying to move a coin that's on the table, but he can't do it. But he now looks like visibly exhausted from trying to move things all day. And Sam's reading, it's really not that interesting. Honestly, it's some more backstory about Dexter, and like Sam is reading a newspaper, relaying what he's reading. Like, okay, fine. Asking what the next move is going to be. Dean is in the shower this whole time.
Yeah.
I thought he was on the toilet because the way that he was answering. I don't know. I was just figured he was on. But the door is open, so I was like, why would he have the door open if he was on the toilet? Yeah. But he's not. He's in the shower. Bobby is still trying to move the coin. And Bobby just says,
You know, if I could, I'd be getting old waiting on you two to figure this out.
Dean finishes up his shower, grabs the towel, and gets out. And Bobby's looking at the mirror. He's like, all right, now, I can kill werewolves, fix a pinto, and bake cornbread, which, I mean, good on you. Like, I can do one of those 3 things. I'll be damned if I can't get Zen. And then we cut to 2 teenage boys who, like, are doing a video.
Yeah. I mean,
to memorialize their friends, but like one of them's like super amped up because they're going into a haunted house. The other one's like, no, this is serious. We're like doing something seriously.
If this was set now, they would be on TikTok live, you know, like doing this. Yeah. This is 100% this.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true. So they go into the house. It then cuts back to Dean and the motel room. This moment with Dean, like with wet hair and like getting out of the shower and everything, I was like, he looks so young.
He looks so young. I think it's because he's not wearing a jacket either.
Yeah,
that really does it. Yeah,
you're just a lost little boy,
just a baby.
And he, like, you know, drying off his hair, looks up and he looks in the mirror. He's like, Sam, did you tell me you wrote that? And on the mirror it says, Annie trapped in house. And he's like, no. Sam's like, no, I didn't. Cuts back to the boys. Annie's watching them go through the house. It goes back to the motel. And they're like on edge, like, because they obviously at this point, they've decided that Bobby is not haunting them. So it has to be some other entity which is not good. So they get like on high alert.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam thinks that Bobby's not haunting them. I don't think Dean's convinced. Still, I think
that's true.
Yeah.
So Dean, in like super scary voice, says, "Who's there?" The hot water tap goes back on and more steam rises, and so Bobby can write his name.
Yeah.
It then goes back to the motel room. Goes back to the house. The 2 boys have 2 very different ways of narrating what's happening here.
Yeah.
You know, they walk through these halls seeking a grotto of love, is what one of them says. And the other one's like, seriously? It's like, what? Yeah, no. Choices. Yeah, because Dean then is confirmed. Bobby's written out his whole name. And he's like stood next to the mirror and he's like really, really drained as well at this moment. And Dean says,
this whole time we were trying to talk ourselves out of it. What's he doing here?
You know, they connect it with the flask.
Like, Sam immediately figures it out. Like, after all of this, of like Garth saying you could be haunted, and the only thing they have of Bobby's in their possession is his flask, pretty much. So it makes sense, but like for him to get it so quickly is, Sam is smart.
He is. And like, it's because he paid attention to what Garth was doing. Like, he was holding it near the flask and stuff. So I think it makes sense. So this is another moment. So Bobby and Dean are on the same wavelength.
Yes, they
clearly
are.
Because Dean has been carrying the flask around. So I feel like there's just a connection there that's just he's open to the connection, whereas Sam is closed off, so he can't get that mojo, I guess.
I think so.
Because Bobby says, we don't have time for this, get your asses back to the house, and Dean says, we got to get back to the house. So using very similar language.
Yeah.
We're back in the house and with the boys, and Dexter is there again, warning these kids.
Yeah.
They run away, but Vanessa appears in front and tells Dexter, I expressly forbid you, enough. And the boys like thank him, and he ends up murdering these 2 teenage boys.
Yeah.
We then get to see some ghost powers, which we never see again. I feel like some of that might have been helpful in hell or something. I don't know. Van Ness turns to Dexter, says,
Dexter, you tried to warn them away.
You have enough of us. They're just children, Whitman.
He does the same thing that he did to the boys, as in the teenage boys. Puts his hand in their chest, and like we see, he kind of like, he burns up like a regular ghost, but not really.
Yeah.
But we see this, the same kind of way that we saw Grace in earlier seasons, but it's like tinted red instead of tinted blue.
Well, I think this links to the whole deal with souls, because the ghosts are just a manifestation of their souls, right? And I think he's found a way to like consume the souls of the other ghosts and gaining their power, which we know that souls are powerful and supernatural, so it totally makes sense that he just figured this out, and that's why he's gaining more ghost powers. Like,
true. But not enough, because he still can't leave the house.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, he can do a lot though.
He can do a lot. He can pretty much do anything he wants. Yeah. I don't know. It was... They figured out Bobby's haunting them. Yay.
Like, yay, they did it. Yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic because we already knew he was haunting them. So it's just waiting for him to figure out his ghost powers enough to like tell them about it. And then their reaction was pretty like, oh yeah. Like it didn't even feel like that momentous. It's just like, oh yeah, guess he is. I don't know.
What we suspected was true all along. We got our confirmation.
Yep. That's pretty much it. I didn't think it was that emotional. It was just like, oh yeah, he's warning us. I don't know.
Yeah.
So back in the house, we're still in the house. Annie's walks over to the dead teenage boys, and she tries to take the camera from one of them, but she can't. And suddenly, like Victoria's just stood right next to her. So Annie asked her to grab the camera, and she refuses because she doesn't want to get involved in Whitman's affairs. So Annie's a bit like, well, you asked me for help. Like, I'm here. I will help you. You have to help me. But Victoria says, well, now he can get you too. This is the explanation of what he was doing, because Annie says, like, get me how? I'm already dead. Like, can you explain to me? What did he do to Dexter? Because they were both watching this as it happened. And Victoria says that she punished him. He tried to warn you too, like he drained him completely, because Dexter's not the bad guy that he was meant to be out to be in history. Like, he was trying to stop all the murders, clearly, and then that continued on to his death, even. So Victoria explains that like, draining ghosts makes Van Ness really strong, that we're really food to him and perverse entertainment. Annie says, when he does that, what happens? Just poof. And she says, yeah, forever. So I wonder if they go to the empty, because there is no such thing as just poof, I feel, in Supernatural.
Yeah.
Or if it is like the same as burning up a ghost, that they either go then to heaven or hell, wherever they were going to go.
I guess if we kind of apply the same thing that Cass tried to do, like he absorbed all the souls of monsters, maybe they just like exist within Van Ness in some kind of way.
I guess, yeah, if you're like consuming a soul, 'cause, yeah, we did talk about this before. I guess that is the only way in Supernatural for like oblivion, right? Is like if your soul actually gets eaten or destroyed.
So I'm wondering if that's like, it literally is just the end, like your existence is over.
Yeah. Interesting.
And maybe burning up Van Ness set them free too.
I don't think it did. I think Supernatural is crueler than that. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think once you've been eaten, you've been eaten.
Yep.
Like, the same for Leviathan. Once they get eaten, they're gone. They're not going back to purgatory.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah. They just no longer exist.
So they kind of confirm what we're saying, that Annie says, I thought Whitman was some poor guy and Dexter killed his fiancée. And Victoria's like, no, Whitman framed him and then killed all of us. When this house was a brothel, I worked here as a fancy lady. He slit my throat. And Annie calls her a hooker. And she looks really unimpressed and's like, come on. She says, even in death, every soul he traps here makes him stronger. Annie asks her where he keeps the bodies, and she says she doesn't know. Annie doesn't believe her, and she's trying to convince her to help her, essentially, and get the camera. And Victoria just goes, "Oh dear," and takes it. But then, like, Whitman appears, and we see him as they hide. We see Van Ness dragging the bodies away, because that's how strong he is from eating all the ghosts. He's hiding them behind a bookcase. Very Scooby-Doo style. Yes. Yep. So Sam and Dean are outside the house now. They're getting their guns.
Sorry. Just a massive issue with this.
Yeah.
Like, the police have searched this house over and over again, right? They know these people go missing. They never thought to bring a cadaver dog.
Right, honestly.
Anyway, whatever.
Small town. Whatever. Maybe they don't have one. But the smell, like...
The smell, anything. I mean, maybe it's a sealed room. Fine.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Poor. It was built in the 1920s. I don't think they knew what a sealed room was, unless it was a safe.
Exactly. Poor police work there.
Yeah.
But then even Dean says, like, we combed the crap out of this place and we didn't find her. Sure. So, like, maybe it is just, like, really well hidden. So, yeah, Sam kind of basically says, like, something's hiding the bodies from them, and Dean's like, cool, let's go figure that out.
Let's go do our jobs.
Yeah. Back inside, Bobby's tailing Sam and Dean as they go through the house. Bobby manages to, like, take the flask. You're right, like, it being, like, hanging out of his pocket is a danger, because Bobby just takes it.
Yeah. They need to do a pat down every time they go places. Just this episode happens twice.
Put things on a bungee.
Yeah.
Dean's asking around for Annie, and Bobby just says, I'm sorry, I'm leaving the pack. So basically he's free now because he has his own flask, so he can, like, wander where he wants.
Mm-hmm.
They're still looking for Annie as well, and then the camera falls at Dean's feet as some kind of sign. He just goes, that's not odd. Dean picks up the camera and Bobby puts his flask into a drawer. So he's going to stay in the house then until this is done. So Sam comes down the stairs because Dean calls for him, and we see that Annie and Victoria both stood behind Dean, and Dean says, Slimer? Like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
And he shows the recording to Sam of the two teenage boys and what they were doing. Dean says, I hate these indie films, nothing ever happens, which I thought was a really funny line, actually.
Why they didn't make a Ghostfacer reference? Again, missed opportunity.
They should send this, every time they get a tape like this, they should send it to the Ghostfacers and be like, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to get murdered. So Sam pauses the recording and we see Annie in the picture. So Dean says she's here, but not in a good way, so she's dead. Bobby's come to stand next to Annie and Victoria, and he says,
give them a moment. They've got a little slower since I left.
I mean, honestly.
And Dean just keeps going, like, Annie, like the hundreds of other times he's called her and she hasn't answered, like, this time.
Right.
They don't think about getting, like, a Ouija board out or whatever. I think they just carry, like, a fold-out one in their pocket, just like, I
mean, surely you could just do it with a piece of paper too.
Yeah, right.
Write out.
It doesn't have to be fancy.
Right. It doesn't have to, like, it's a game. They literally, I think it's in World, it's literally a game. It's not called Ouija because they're not allowed to use it, but, like, what, a talking board. Mm-hmm. So, like.
Yeah, exactly. Annie says to Victoria, like, oh, well, you have to do it because she's powerful enough to manifest herself. She disagrees at first, but eventually they convince her, and she appears behind Sam and Dean. And as they turn, they obviously, like, point their guns at her, and she's like, please, I'm Victoria. They have the same line of, like, I'm a fancy lady, and Dean's like, a hooker. Sam side-highs him and says, is Annie here? The actual interesting questions. She says, yes, you can't see her. And then they both, like, look around, like, oh, and she's like, they're not standing on her. Annie is behind her, like, do you want to hurry up? And Victoria says, in my day, we believed in polite conversation. And she's like, Annie's in terrible danger. She explains that Van Ness is evil, and we see Van Ness watching them from upstairs. Dean's like, he's dead. Like, what?
as if that's ever stopped them before.
Why would you even say that? You were here to hunt a ghost, and they're like, yeah, there's a dangerous ghost. And Dean's like, what? Never heard of such a
dangerous
thing.
Ghost? How many times have we been flung across the room? I don't know. Every day since forever.
I just think he's hit his head too many times sometimes. Like, honestly, things he comes out with.
I mean, I know Bobby was calling them slow, but this is snail pace. Come on.
I mean, if Victoria like turns to Annie, is like, I thought you said they were good. Dean says, I'm just processing, lady. Like, he's dead, you're dead. And then we see Van Ness disappear. And Dean asks, define terrible danger. She explains Whitman's power. He killed Annie. Basically, has power over all of them. They want to be freed. But then Victoria goes into flames, like whoosh.
Yep.
And Dean's just like, well, I'm going to say she was telling the truth, considering she just got ghost killed. But they know now who to go and salt and burn, like Van Ness is evil. And we see, as they walk away, and like Sam does like a little, like, he stops and like does a little adjustment, like a wiggle. And Van Ness slips something into his pocket. I didn't realise it was a key the first time I watched this. I was just like, he's seen put something in there.
It looked like it had like a bit of blood on it, so I'm wondering if it was like...
Oh.
However, I don't know how Van Ness ultimately died. I know it did say in the episode, but I don't really care.
Was it like a fire or something? No, I can't remember.
I literally could just scroll back.
I think it just said like he died of loneliness or something weird. I think it said something like that. Anyway, he must be tied to the key, so he plants it on Sam. So Sam and Dean go get back into their car, presumably to go to like the graveyard to find Van Ness's body. And Bobby and Annie watch them because now Bobby can't go with them anymore because he took the flask like a dum-dum. And Van Ness is
like,
in
that was never going to
backseat.
backfire.
I feel like they should have had Van Ness do like a little wave, like.
He kind of does. He looks back at them.
Oh, okay.
And like gives them a smirk.
Oh. Yeah, because Bobby's just like, oh, hell no, as they all drive away.
Mm-hmm. Bobby is now kicking himself because he left a flask behind.
Mm-hmm.
And if he hadn't done that, he would be with them. But like, dude, you can't move anything. What are you gonna do against a like 100-year-old ghost who's been absorbing hundreds of other ghosts? Like, no. You did the right thing because you would be absorbed and poofed. No. So yeah, they figured that Van Ness couldn't leave either, so they would have been safe. Yeah. But they are also now going to take advantage of the fact that Van Ness is not here and not watching everybody to go search the house to find out where all the bodies are. Essentially, that was just it takes a long time for them to get there.
Oh yeah, it does.
They also figured, this house was a boarding house, a school, a speakeasy, and the thing with speakeasies is that they had a lot of places to hide.
Yeah.
So they go to where Van Ness would guard a room religiously, basically, and they enter, and we see Victoria's body.
Yeah. In
the fire. Is that when we see it?
Yeah, there's like a fireplace, and there's a skeleton in the fireplace, so that's how she got burned up. Yeah. So they then eventually find the bookcase that Van Ness had opened before, and we see the bodies of everybody who is dead in the house. And then we get this what again could have been a really profound moment. We see it in Annie's face a little bit because she sees herself dead, and how messed up is that? Yes, so messed up. So messed up.
Yeah. Because she comes to realization that oh yeah, I'm really dead. There's no coming back from this one. Yeah, kind of thing. And she says, that she wants a hunter's funeral. She's ready to kind of give it up.
Come on, it's better than this. I'm not stuck to this house. Somewhere between existing and not.
You know, I'm ready for some peace. It wasn't much of a life. It was lonely as what we do. And Bobby's like defending him, his like their way of life, but like, what do you want her to do? You want her to like come hang out with you?
Yeah.
Like, you have your own thing that you're trying to accomplish. She's asking to be set free as well.
I think part of it is that they said before they don't know what happens to ghosts, like when they do that. So maybe his work, like, is oblivion better than being a ghost, you know?
True. Especially since she didn't have an option to go with the Reaper.
Yeah. So they don't know where she's going or anything. Like, it could just be... I mean, I do think that when ghosts get burned up, I do think they go up or down, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. And I think that is confirmed, right? Because of Kevin?
Well, and because of Bobby, because they eventually burn his flask too.
Yeah, right. And Bobby for sure. So, like, but they don't know that. So...
True.
They think that, like, he thinks that she's just casting herself into oblivion here, like, you know, giving it all up. Where I guess he thinks ghost existence is at least something, but she just doesn't have the same point of view, and he should respect that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he kind of gets around there because he's like, well, you know, I ain't done. And Annie says, well, okay, fine. Like, she accepts his point of view. Yeah. And she says, well, you're stronger than I am now, so, you know, you got to do this for me. Yeah. So Sam is researching while Dean is driving, and they find the mausoleum that they had, and then suddenly the car starts to accelerate, and like Sam's like, oh, you know, we'll get there, take it easy, like we want to get there in one piece, and Dean says, well, that's not me. Yeah. And then suddenly Van Ness appears to them, and like they swerve and stuff. I love the way that they jump out of the car once they manage to like get to a stop. Yeah. Sam goes, why is he with us? Like, it's like, I don't know, there's got to be something. And the way they like pat themselves down is just so funny.
It's so good.
And Sam finds the key in his pocket. They start to fight with Van Ness. Yes. Kind of. Eventually, Dean shoots the key and like it like causes Van Ness to get sucked into the house. I guess destroying the key was enough.
Yeah. But like, why didn't
usually they
just destroy him? Yeah, like...
yeah. I'm not entirely sure how severing the connection in that way worked, but okay, fine. He got zapped back into the house.
Ghost. He has special rules, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, also, you are justified for the pat down. They should be patting themselves in and patting themselves out of a haunted house.
Yep. Will they do this again? Nope.
Yep. Fall for the same trick.
Exactly. And they don't even know that Bobby's not with them either, because Sam, now that they've sent the ghost back, Sam says, we've just like sent him back where Annie's a sitting duck, obviously not knowing that Bobby's also with her. And they're like, we gotta go find those bones, come on. So they go back into the car. Yeah. We go back to the house. This has a lot of cutting back and forth. It's very supernatural pinnacle moment. Yeah. Like try and save the day kind of thing. So Bobby's talking about how they're going to build a fire and burn the rest of the people that are in the back room. Yeah. Sam and Dean have found Van Ness's mausoleum and his particular spot. Van Ness goes into the room that Bobby and Annie are now in, but they've managed to like, they hide. Yeah. I do love the fact that they're ghosts and they've just like hidden around a corner as if they couldn't just like phase through a wall and be in a different room.
That's so good.
Which is eventually what they do, because Van Ness comes around and they've gone. Then Annie and Bobby are now on the ground floor, but Van Ness appears in front of them and he's like,
enjoy the view from my room? Planning to thin out the population? Is this how you repay my hospitality?
Okay, dude.
Very good, yeah.
You're not a good guy. And then Van Ness does his whole hand chesty thing, and it looks like Bobby's burning up and almost dying. And then just in time, they light him on fire, and he's like, no! I will not be taken. Yeah. And like the way that the energy like comes back into Bobby, I was wondering if there was like some sort of transference because he was dying, burning up while Nanas was still connected, and that's suddenly why he's like way better at being a ghost now.
Yeah, possibly. Not. It could be. Who knows? Why not?
It was his nap. It was because he falls down and like gets knocked out. But then, because like no time has passed, right? Or it doesn't seem like it, or as much time as it takes for them to get from the mausoleum to the house, which clearly only took 10 minutes.
Yeah, fine.
If that. Annie's kneeling next to Bobby, and Bobby asks, how long was I out? He says, and she just says a while. Like, I honestly thought it was supposed to be a joke, but her delivery is so deadpan that maybe it wasn't supposed to be a joke. But like 10 minutes or however long with no like context of time change.
Who knows how long? Like, honestly, because the fact that like Sam and Dean come in and they're like, what? It's that weird time skip.
Yes. Yeah. And it may be that, you know, him being knocked out for a few minutes or moments, whatever, was enough to like, I don't know, system update.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He reached his zen, like, you know, found nirvana.
I guess so. The conversation he had with Annie about having unfinished business in their perspectives was enough.
Yeah, fine. Sure. Why not?
The two lines that they get about that. So Bobby sits up, Sam and Dean walk in, and they can see him. He's like, hi, boys. Yeah. And they're like, Bobby? He's like, wait, you can see me? Because clearly he's been talking to them when he, like, as he does. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Again, they don't look that shocked. Like, I feel.
No.
They're just like, oh, really. Yeah. Who's here?
Right. I guess they knew, because, right, I mean, but this is a visual confirmation that Bobby was really there the entire time. Would you not be freaking out?
I'm like freaking out.
What have I done in the last, 2 to 6 months, however long it's been, that Bobby could like chat, like, I don't know, rim me out for?
Oh, right, exactly. Like, you would be freaking out. It's just, it's wild. They just treat it very nonchalantly, like, yeah.
Why isn't Bobby like, Dean, why are you trying to kill yourself? And Sam, why have you been hiding your...
Yeah.
Something.
That's
something.
That's a lot.
But nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't really at all address anything that's happened to them in the past, like, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, so they come in, they're staring at him, and he stood up now, and Bobby's like, you're staring. And he said, Annie's here too, by the way, but they obviously can't see her still. But they do say hi to her. She says hi to them, even though they can't see her, which is polite. And like Bobby indicates to where she is, so they can look at the space where she isn't, you know, it's kind of good. Bobby she says you both look uglier than she remembered, which I really enjoyed, because, yeah. And she kind of
he would have heard that conversation. Anyway. He doesn't even mention that, but anyway.
No. And they do this thing of like her appearing and disappearing, like, to show that she's not there. That's fine. But Sam asks Bobby, like, how'd you stay here? And he goes and opens the drawer and takes a little flask to show them it. And he just says, suck on that, Swayze. And Sam puts all the pieces together, and it's suddenly felt really convenient to me, like they had to explain it. Yeah. But I think it's like, he says, like, that's why he never answered. Like, I did all these things, but I was always alone because Dean was away and had the flask. He's like, that's why the EMF only went off half the time. We thought we were going crazy. And yeah, that's the explanation as to why Sam didn't see Bobby when he was trying to chat him.
Yeah. It felt very much for the audience like we hadn't figured that out.
Yeah, right. We definitely had already figured that out, you know. Dean asked Bobby what's happened to, like, if he got stuck, and Bobby admits that he wanted to stay, and they're like, Dean's not happy. He's like, Bobby, what? You know. Bobby explains that he says, I need to help. And Sam says, it doesn't mean you have to be, like, you know, be this. But to be fair, how else are you going to help Sam? Yeah.
Right.
And Bobby just says, like...
Life wasn't comfy. Why should death be? Oh, come on.
And I think this is what I mean about not having enough explanation, but I think this may be who Bobby is, and, like, in that he just feels this is a continuation of his service, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's his duty to help them, you know, and if he turns into, you know, a poltergeist or whatever, an angry, vengeful ghost, then that's his penance. Because he still hasn't forgiven himself about his wife, you know?
True. All of the stuff that we saw in Death's Door, he has not forgiven himself for.
We see Annie again. Obviously, Sam and Dean can't see her, and as Bobby explains, that they found all the bodies and they did the fire. You know, no, he needs them to set the fire to put them to rest. But he says, you know, keep my damn flask away from the fire, obviously. And as he goes up, he's just like, you come in? Yeah. So presumably time has passed and they did that, you know, set the house on fire. Because
yeah, basically.
Sam and Dean are back outside putting their things in the trunk of the car. And Bobby looks at the front door of the house, like back at him, and then walks over to them and just says, because Annie's gone now.
Yeah.
She has been released as they burnt the bodies. He says, I'll miss her, and Sam and Dean agree. And he just says, well, you didn't know her like I did. And Dean kind of laughs, and Sam closes his throat. It's like, she's dead, guys. Like, let's not...
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dean takes out his flask and is like, here's to Annie. You know, she got the hunter's funeral she wanted. Kind of like and then, you know, backhands Bobby with kind of like the one we thought we gave you.
Yeah.
Sam warns him, but Dean's on it now. He's like, what were you thinking, Bobby? This was the line.
You could be in heaven right now, drinking beer at Harvell's.
Because that's where Bobby ends up in the final episode. He's sat drinking outside her house.
Oh, I forgot that. And also, like, they picked this from season 7. This is the only thing they picked from season 7. The amount of things you've pointed out that they could have used instead. This is the thing that they picked. Fine.
This is the thing they chose. That they decided this is canon now. You know, this is it. Nothing else that we could have used in later seasons. Nope. Just this.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that.
Yep.
Still raging. Because I heard him say this and I was like, no, they didn't do that. Yeah, they totally did do that. I mean, it does make sense. I mean, I think Harvell's is a kind of a good place to stage any kind of reunion. I don't know.
And we knew that Bobby had feelings for Ellen. Like, with the alternate universe place that they went to, they were married. And I feel like I keep calling her Annie now. Ellen and Bobby just like missed their time. Yeah. That was it.
Like, because the end of the season feels like, on the series, feels like Dean visiting Bobby in like his version of heaven, you know, like this is sitting outside Harvell's. I don't think it's Dean's. Like, because we're told in the episode that it's, you know, him driving in his car is basically his version of heaven. I think it would have been nice for them to almost use the bunker set like one last time. That would have been good for a reunion and have everyone there, because that was like their home. That was where they had a lot of their happiest memories.
True.
You know? But yeah, I just heard this and flashbacks, you know? It was like,
like some more zone.
Yeah. So Bobby's like, he says,
Not stuck here with you.
He's like, we still have work to do. I just thought this was kind of important, Dean. And Dean's just like, it's not right, and you know that. And then Bobby gets angry. He's like, sorry, you're right. What was I thinking? He just vanishes. And I think this is the build up to him becoming angrier as a ghost, right? This like sudden outburst of anger. Because Dean and Sam kind of give each other a look like, whoa. And Dean tosses the flask into the trunk, which, my guy, that's your friend's soul in there.
Yeah, but also like he doesn't want him on him anymore because of this like outburst.
Oh yeah, so right.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Maybe they thought it would relegate him to the trunk, not knowing like how. I don't know.
I mean, they totally could just salt and burn that flask, you know. Like, I think he'd be angry about it, but also, what's he going to do after they've done it? Nothing.
Right, because he'd be gone.
Yeah.
Like, he cannot stay because there's nothing connecting them anymore.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't do that immediately means that they wanted, like, we know that they still want Bobby around.
Yes.
And that's the only reason why they didn't do that, like, when they're burning everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they want more answers from him, as in, like, his choices, and then they'll get rid of him, essentially.
I bet they, like, rationalize it in their brain, like, oh, well, if he's here, we'll just use him to help us with the Leviathan, and then we'll salt and burn him, and then it'll be something else and something else, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we see that all the time with them, don't we?
Exactly. So they're driving at night now in this last scene, and Sam says, like, what should we do? And Dean says, we did what we should do, you know, as in gave him a hunter's funeral, like, now I don't know. And Sam does say, like, you know, could we make it all work somehow? And Dean has no idea, you know, he's like,
I have no idea. Maybe. I've never heard of it. But you know what I do know? That ain't the natural order of things.
like you care.
Yeah. Like, how many, like, you brought your brother back.
Right.
And I get it. He every time they've come back, it's with a huge cost. But the thing is, Bobby isn't coming back from anywhere. He is just dead.
Yeah,
he is just a ghost.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the other shoe. This is the other shoe that they've been waiting for to the beginning of this episode. Of, like, I mean, there's been lots of shoes this side of this like mid-season that have been dropping. So, like, but Sam ever the optimist, right?
Right. Because Dean says, you know, what are the odds of this ends well? And we see it cuts to Bobby, like, sat behind them. And Dean just says again, like, what are the odds? And then that's the end of the episode. Ooh.
And it would never be, like, they may have luck on their side, but they also never have luck on their side.
No, like, they know this is going to end badly. Like, of course it's going to end badly. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But, like, it's, like, it's finally clicking what Death has told Dean, that, like, people die and you, like, they need to stay dead. Stop messing around with people that are dead. Like, just leave it be. But, like, it is the natural order of things. If if a soul decides not to go, like, it's only because Bobby knows the consequences. That's the thing that they should be talking about. Like, instead of saying, like, it's the natural order of things, like, he knows what happens if you don't go. Like, I don't know. They feel like teenagers in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, they're not understanding anything and not knowing what questions to ask, really.
It's because this episode is from Bobby's point of view. I think it's, like, how he sees them.
It could be, yeah. I don't think Bobby stays a ghost for very long, though. No. I think it's only, like, the next episode, and then they, like, let him go. I think
it could be interesting that they, you know, they could have doubled down on that. Like, it's his point of view. Like, maybe his way of seeing them is skewed. Now he's a ghost. If they're, like, bumbling idiots, because they don't do anything in this case without his help, really. And I think that's it. I think this is them through his eyes. But yeah, you're right. I don't think he stays a ghost very long, and I can't remember how that happens. I think he just starts to go vengeance-y, and they have to get rid of him.
Yeah, that would be my guess. As well. But I just don't know if it's, like, soon. Like, I'm because the next episode is the girl with the Dungeons and Dragons tattoo.
Yes.
So, introduction to Charlie. Yay! Which injustice.
Oh, I can't even talk about it. I can't even think about it. I'm gonna be so mad.
But it's fine. We get to see her.
Yes.
For a few episodes and enjoy Felicia Day being just a kick-ass nerd.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But, like, this doesn't mean anything. But I don't remember Bobby being in this episode. But, like, I don't remember half these episodes.
So I mean, we've only got 3 episodes left, so he must be, because they have to resolve his storyline. So I think that's got to be it.
I feel like in terms of supernatural, it's probably Bobby's going to mess something up because he's become a vegetable spirit, and they're like, we have to let you go because you messed this up. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm being more of a hindrance than a help.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Frank's missing.
I was thinking at the beginning of the episode, and you were talking about Frank. I was like, yeah, he's gone. He's missing. So
yeah,
they don't.
We have so many like open things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot is going to happen in the next 3 episodes. Or yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So much is going to happen. So much. But,
I think it's actually 4. I think this might be 23 episodes. This season.
So yeah, it is.
We've got 4. Yeah.
But even still, 4 episodes is not... I mean, they've done more with less.
Yes, they have. That's so true. They have. Yeah, they absolutely have. I just can't wait till season 8. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for the season to be done. I'm like, I want season 8. And we have some really good episodes coming up, so that's good. But like, season 8. Like, I can see it on the horizon.
Yep, it's Fighting Dean and Dirty Dean. That sounds kind of wrong, but
yeah,
it's on the way. We'll get there, and then we have to absorb season 8, and then realize that this is the pinnacle, basically.
It is absolute peak,
and then it all kind of happens from there.
Mm-hmm. It does.
But, like, season 8 to season 15 is going to just be a wild ride for me, by the way, because I don't remember. I remember the big plot points.
Same.
I remember some of the big characters, but like what happens in between, no.
The one thing I really can't wait to pick apart is like Dean and Amara's romance, because I remember watching it at the time and being like super confused.
What is this? Yeah.
I'd be like, what are they trying to, what? Because I think like they say at some point and they're like, oh, you feel really drawn to her, and I'm like, with what? I was like, what? There's zero chemistry between these 2 people. Like, yeah,
no,
it's so weird.
Which I think they were trying to do that, right, so that there'd be a counter to Chuck's obsession with Dean.
Yeah, it just does not work. It just does not work on any level, and I can't wait to watch it again and be like, I was right. At what point did the writers go, yeah, there's zero chemistry between these people, like we need to just decide, no, this is not happening anymore?
Probably immediately.
I mean, honestly. The thing is, they're both really good actors, like,
yeah, and
I feel like on-screen chemistry is not something you can manufacture, no matter how good an actor you are.
Yeah, I think they both read the script and was like, really though? I don't think this works. So like they didn't play into it either, because like I feel like for the most part Sam and Dean, Jensen and Jared, like can I think Jensen is able to connect with people a lot easier.
I think so, but I think it was more that like despite him being like a consummate professional, which I just feel like Jensen Ackles probably is, he looked at this and was like, Dean would not do this.
Yeah, I think so because at this point he and Dean are the same person.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's just like, you look at the script and like, he would not do this. So, yeah.
Yep.
The same with the
I'm not going to keep any of this, but...
No, the same with the like series finale. Like, he was so upset about it and had to be like talked into it being okay, because he knew like this wasn't a good ending, and I just still feel really mad about that for him. But yeah, it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not fine.
So...
Still not fine about it.
No, it's not fine. No, we're never going to be fine about this.
Okay, shall we wrap this up?
Yes. So yeah, we have a fun episode next time. Mm-hmm. Significantly better than this one.
Yeah.
It is written by Robbie Thompson. That's why.
Yep.
So at the end of the episode, you don't have anything else to say, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So at the end of the episode, we like to thank the Pixel Agora for his amazing logo art. And if you'd like to get that on a tote bag, you can at our Redbubble store. Also, come talk to us about what's happening next with the end of the season and like how they chose to do this with this episode. You can find us all over social media. We're on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Ko-fi, Bluesky. Is there any others? Probably. Just Google Escape Purgatory podcast or Escaping Podcast on Bluesky.
So this week, we did a milk run ghost hunt and met an old friend. So maybe next week we can finally... Oh, well, no, not next week. So maybe next time we can finally find our way out. Bye!
Bye!